Uh, First and
Star Trek,
foremost,
I'm not familiar. Is that a show?
you are in
It's
the
a
right
TV
place.
show.
You're going to learn all about it. Starting with an article from CBR.com. What a coincidence.
Sounds like it was handsomely written.
Probably.
Written by Joshua
Certainly starts
M.
off handsomely.
Patton. It's entitled How Walter Koenig Can Finally Tell His Star Trek Story on His Terms. I think the on his terms is a very important qualifier there. Let's scroll down to this first segment here. And it reads a little something like this. Oh, that's too far. Too far. Did I go too far? There it is. Okay. There has never been a better time to be a fan of Star Trek, which is impressive considering the franchise is nearly 60 years old. Along with a third wave of new series, Star Trek Discovery, Lower Decks, Picard, Strange New Worlds, Prodigy, and others in development, there are a number of Star Trek-themed podcasts featuring people who worked on the second wave series. One of these, The Seventh Rule, is extending a hand back through time to Star Trek, the original series icon Walter Koenig, the man who brought Pavel Chekov to life, will rewatch the series and finally tell his story on his terms. So, Joshua, you wrote this article. Can you just tell us a little bit about that? Because the on his terms, I think, is the key part, right?
Well, long before I was writing about Star Trek for CBR, I would eat up every behind the scenes thing. In fact, hold on, since the 1980s when I got this book, The Making of Star Trek.
That's such a good book.
Yeah, it's so having gone through a lot of it, Chekhov was added in the second season. The other than Kirk, Spock, and Shatner, DeForest Kelley, and Leonard Nimoy, the rest of the cast, they sometimes struggled to give them meaningful things to do in the films, and of course Walter Koenig was also the only cast member not brought back for the animated series. He did get to write an episode though, but in a way it seems like Walter's story has always been added as an afterthought or put in the context of the bigger picture. So when I heard that, when I saw the video launching the Indiegogo and talking about this, I was genuinely delighted because he's a character. He's got a lot of great stories. At one point on the podcast, you got to ask him about how he tried to commit insurance fraud in New York with Wavy Gravy, the Grateful Dead guy. I mean, he's an original. So the fact that he's going to be taking center stage in this rewatch of the original series is marvelous, just because he's a great man and he deserves to, tell his story without having to cut to Shatner, cut to Nimoy, cut to whoever.
Yeah.
And it is, as much as I would love him to be here forever, none of our these people who were involved with the original series are going to be around forever. And it's
I
gonna
believe
be
that
Shatner's
going to outlive all of us, honestly.
I mean,
he's going to drink some kind of alien juice and outlive all of us.
It's the horses. I'm telling you, it's the horses.
Contracts. He, if he signs a contract, he's like, well, I got to stick around to fill that contract.
Dude doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But that's a really good point. Go on.
Yeah. I was just going to say, so I think it's really awesome. Just, I mean, one, as a Star Trek fan, but two, just in general, as a fan of television history. I think it's a great thing Yins are doing.
Yins. Wow. We're going to be peppering those in all night. This is good stuff.
You gotta
what do Yins think?
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to how Walter is going to do this. Is he going to be the kind of guy that just takes crazy notes and talks about the writing and talks about the camera angles and really goes in deep? Is he just going to fall asleep during every episode, but then just tell us unabashedly?
Maybe
and
season one.
I'd be like,
season 1.
I don't know. I fell asleep. It was kind of boring, to be honest. I ate some cookies and took a nap. He'll be like, what was the last thing you saw? Or if he'll be like just focusing on the acting or just focusing squarely on his parts. I don't know. What do you guys think? What type of reviewer?
I wonder if it's going to spark some memories that he didn't realize he had from the time his times on set. And I think if it does, that will be gold, press latinum.
Well, yeah, I hope so.
He did a couple episode interviews episode rewatches with Enterprise Incidents with Scott Mance, and my favorite part of it is that what it sparks is Hollywood gossip, because he lived in Hollywood for decades, and I cannot get enough Hollywood gossip. So he'll be like, "Oh yeah, this girl who then later went on to date this person, then she got married to this person." I'm like, this is gold. I could listen to this for forever. And I mean, I totally agree that like it's just amazing to have these people's stories like caught like in perpetuity, so that we always have them. So important.
What's your favorite kind of Hollywood gossip, Amory? Do you like
Old
sneaky
Hollywood
relationship stuff, or who's a jerk on set, or what?
No, old Hollywood shipping.
Ooh.
It's my favorite. That's why I can't get enough of the Cary Grant TV show that just came out with Jason Isaacs.
Oh,
So
I didn't know
good.
about this. I'm gonna have to.
Oh, it's on
find that
BritBox.
immediately.
It's amazing. The first half just dropped on Wednesday. It's so good. I'm like,
BritBox.
"Ooh, yes, tell me all the gossip."
BritBox.
Plus, you know how I feel about Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, Anne-Marie's in love with Jason
rightly
Isaacs.
so.
But it doesn't
Wait.
look like Jason Isaacs. It looks like Cary
Amazing.
Grant.
Yeah.
He looks like Cary Grant.
See anything like Horace Grant? Somebody knows who Horace Grant is. He was the center for the Bulls in the 90s. I don't know.
Oh.
Whatever. That's
Okay.
the only.
Sorry, I don't know
derailed
who
this
he
so
is.
hard.
That's basketball, right?
That is
Yeah.
basketball.
Okay, that's as far as I go on that train.
Okay. Well, sorry for derailing us. Let me get us back on track here. This next item is also
one more
actually.
thing before we.
Yeah, please.
But here's my prediction because it's happened on Seventh Rule with Sirach and the other podcasts. I wonder with distance and from doing it and watching it in succession like that, if it won't in some way maybe generate a new appreciation for the work. I mean,
Right.
that's
All right.
it's especially, I mean, I don't know. Again, with Walter though, he's been talking about Star Trek longer than all of us have been alive. So who knows? I just I can't wait to see what gossip or memories he.
Well, like with time separating it, I feel like it's to the point now that he can appreciate the acting and the thing as a whole, and he won't be like micro focusing on I should have done this wrong, different, or this different. It's like that is what it is. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah,
I wonder if he'll have an appreciation for the show, taking out some of those more, I don't know, like the behind the scenes context at all. Because maybe if things were hectic on set that day or something, maybe this time he can just sit back and watch and appreciate the work of art he helped produce.
Yeah, a lot of times actors. I was just gonna say, a lot of times actors, when they rewatch it so many years later, they go, "Yeah, that was actually pretty good. That was pretty good." We're like, "I know, I told you." What were you saying, Joshua?
I was actually going to say a version of that same thing. Like, he'll probably be like, "Man, I killed it. I killed this Chekov." Because he did, unquestionably.
He did. He's so subtle. Like half the times I feel like when he says joke lines, he's not smiling, and half the times he is. And it's like, I want to hear how he decided how to play those lines. It's just so cute. And if he played it like he wasn't smiling but messing with people to see how they would react, he's so amazing.
He could just sit in a room and stare at a camera for 20 minutes, and I'd be like, "Yes, yes, yeah, go on, come on,"
and blush.
And I'm interested to know how his background in psychology helped him make his choices in his character as Chekov. that would be interesting to hear too.
That's a good point.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of like when we were talking about Sirach Lofton before he played Jake Sisko, his background in elementary school and how much that affected how much that influenced.
That really informed his performance as a kid.
Yeah. That's cool. I didn't know that Walter was so well versed. That's cool.